Good afternoon. My name is Matt, and I've been putting together a timesheet for work. And in doing so, I'm having to work through some validation issues, some cell validation issues. Uh, One of those, for instance, is already worked out, but I wanted to gray out weekends. So if I were to go here and set it up for August, it finds the weekends and switches the grayed areas to just the weekends. And back to October, we're back to just last weekend and this weekend. Another issue that I haven't worked out yet is to clear this cell if there's 30 days in the month as opposed to 31. Right now, you've got September. Still think there's 31 days. But the validation issue that I'm working for today is to check to see if employees are putting their timesheet in 15-minute intervals. So right now 4.25 is fine. If I do 4 hours and 20 minutes, it highlights red because that's wrong. If I do a typo, it's going to stay red because that's wrong. But 4.25 is fine. So going through, this is the final formula that I use for the validation, and I'm going to break that formula down for you so you can try to follow along. First thing we do is to isolate the numbers after the decimal point. So if it's 5, the numbers after the decimal point is 0. If I do 5.25, it's 0.25. The way I do that is the first formula is just what is B4? It's 5.25. And then I use the integer function to isolate just the integer part. And the integer is 5. If I do 5.75, the integer is still 5. It's not rounding, it's just isolating the integer portion. And then the outcome is this minus this. And this outcome is whatever's left after the decimal point. The second piece is to multiply this number by 4. Now, if I multiply this number by 4, and we're in 15-minute intervals, this outcome will always be an integer. So 5.25 times 4 is equal to 1. 5.33 times 4 is equal to 1.32. So in part 3, what I do is check whether or not this is indeed an integer. So the formula here is just subtracting this product by 4 from this product by 4, isolating just the integer again. And this is a simple true-false statement. If it's true, then we're in 15-minute intervals. If it's false, then we're not. So that's true. 5.25 is true. 5.33 is false. And then the final piece is mostly just a placeholder. It's this piece right here. And I set that up in case I wanted to add an additional validation check in the future. All it's doing is checking to see if this product here is just an integer. So 5 is true, 5.33 is false, 5.25 is false. If this number is true, this number will always be true. So it's in this formula here, the way it's set up, this will never add anything to the final product. So if you wanted, you could delete that part. Instead of making it an OR function, just make it a simple true-false statement. So again, this is the formula. And if I go up here and do a conditional formatting, create a new rule. Of course, I already created it. So here's my rule. Edit the rule. There's the formula. and there's the format that I've given. I've set this up in reverse so that if it's false, then it's going to show up as red, and if this function is true, then I'm going to change it to black. So go back to 5.3, it's red. 5.25 is black. So you look at the font here. The font is always red unless it's true. So that's just a reversal. And then finally, you can also set this up as a validation. And if you go to data, that's what I've done for this cell. There's a formula again. And if the product is false, it will actually stop you and not let you continue. So if I were to go here and put in 8.33 hours, it's going to give me an error and not let me continue. I can go 8.5 and it lets me. 8.258, it says there's a problem. So that's my timesheet so far. This validation is working just the way it's supposed to. And as I work through the rest, I will post those videos. Thank you very much.